Quelle che vedrai e sentirai sono le interviste dietro le quinte di CircleLand Festival 2023, realizzate nel backstage da Valentina e Sandro di Mettiamoci la Voce. CircleLand è una realtà evolutasi dalla scintilla e dall'organizzazione di Albert Hera che unisce diverse attività didattiche vocali, corali, fisiche e musicali in cerchio. Il festival è durato 5 giorni con 12 workshop e 15 facilitatori da tutto il mondo. Oggi entriamo nel cerchio insieme a Jane Bentley. Jane è una batterista e facilitatrice specializzata in musica e comunicazione a indirizzo salute e benessere. Crea e conduce progetti di attività circolari in luoghi ad alto impatto sociale come carceri, ospedali o scuole e ha conseguito il primo dottorato di ricerca al mondo riguardante l'applicazione di queste attività nel campo del benessere e della riabilitazione. È riconosciuta come una delle migliori formatrici della comunità Drum Circle. A CircleLand ha portato il Drum Circle. We are here with Jane Bentley from Scotland, right?
Yep.
Yeah. You're a Drum Circle facilitator?
Yes.
It's correct? Yes. Can you tell me something about this wonderful world of Drum Circle?
Great. I think, first of all, it's a privilege to be at CircleLand because the power of the circle is a huge thing. And in drum circles, particularly as a facilitator, we're very strong on trying to keep it a circle.
Yeah.
That feeling of equality and participation, that every voice counts in that circle. And so in a drum circle, in a community drum circle, the philosophy behind it is that people are creating their own music. So it's improvisational. And as a facilitator, my job is to listen to the music that's coming from the group and to use that to feed it back to the group to raise that level of musicality. So it's just, it's a joy to be here with all these musical people. So people have a lot to offer. But it's really finding those gifts that are there within the group and within the people present.
So listen is the first skill we have to build to stay in a drum circle.
Really, yes, because we're not teaching rhythms or passing out parts. The thing that is kind of taught, in a sense, in a drum circle is that quality of attention, of readiness to participate, and of taking your attention from in here, in yourself, and what you're playing, to the people next to you, to across the circle, and eventually to what the sound of the whole group is and how does my part fit in with the sound of the whole group.
Because every circle live or grew a specific sound, a unique sound.
Yes. So it's everyone is completely different depending on who is there and who is present.
And how a drum circle could help the people, the single people, to grow himself or herself from the inside, as a person, as a soul, as something bigger.
Yeah, great question. I think it is that possibility that the individual and community is not a competition. That they can coexist at the same time. So I can bring all of myself, but if I can develop the skills to connect that to the community, then you can have both at the same time. There's a great ethnomusicologist from Ireland called John Blacking, and he studied a lot of tribal music around the world, particularly where there was an element of improvisation and creativity. And he said it had the maximum amount of individuality and the maximum amount of community at the same time. So for me, these are not opposites. These are things that can coexist together.
Yes. How can a drum, a drum with some object, can involve the whole body, the voice, the soul of the people when we are in circle and we are doing a drum circle?
I think music is never just something that goes in through your ears or something that just comes out from an instrument. I think it's a whole bodily activity, and you see that in toddlers. When they hear music, the whole body is moving. I work a lot with the elderly, same thing. As adults, we maybe inhibit that a little more. And so part of this whole thing is, how do we play more? How do we inhabit music with our whole bodies, our whole selves, and bring our souls to it as well?
Yeah, thank you. You spread energy. You really spread energy, Jane. And another question I'd love to ask you is, so in a drum circle, we can say that we work even with the culture of the person, of the people, and we nourish society. Is it right?
I think so. And I think particularly from a Western context, I see people rediscovering the joy of connection and community and being with one another in a circle. That often, particularly consumer society, depends on the individual and depends on you feeling isolated. So you buy more things to fill the hole. And I think with these activities, for me, it's a much more refined way of filling the hole and connecting with people. Yeah. And for me, it's the next step of society, is learning to do these things again and participate in these things again.
And what is, if there is a connection with the spirituality in a drum circle? For
me, it's very deep.
If you feel it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for me, it is a spiritual practice for me. And it's about, again, as a facilitator, but also as a player, how do we connect with the present moment of what is here right now? And, how do we respond to what is happening right now, to leave our plans behind or our preconceptions or my desire to push at events? How can I play with what is happening and not try and force it or lead it, but have a conversation with the now and with what's happening.
And also stay in the flow, maybe?
Yes, I think it's absolutely 100% a flow activity, to be inspired and to trust that things will come, ideas, inspiration will come if you can be empty enough to receive it. Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of rediscover yourself when you are in a drum circle or even in a circle activities with body music.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I think this is really precious. How do you knew Albert?
I think my connection came through Stefano.
Okay.
So Stefano came to Scotland and did some drum circle training with us, which was a joy. And he brought all his body music. And from his experience there, he knew Albert and was telling us about CircleLand. And so eventually the invitation came from Albert to come and bring this to CircleLand back in 2019.
2019.
Yeah, that was my first.
Okay. And in how many places of the world have you been with your drum circle?
Many.
Your or other drum circle?
I've experienced drum circle kind of around the globe. So I was just in Japan this year.
Whoa!
And it's like it adapts to every context. So there's definitely a Japanese way of running drum circles. Been Italy, of course.
I've never heard about a Japanese drum circle. Never in my life.
Oh, it's beautiful. And been to India as well. And of course, one of our colleagues, Vasundhara, is here running her workshop. So they also do drum circles in India with many, many people, which is very different to my own context at home when there's maybe fewer there. And you hear an Indian musical sensibility come out in the drumming. In Spain as well, I've been over there, and all these different, it's lovely to hear these different rhythmic cultures come out in the music.
Is it everything as the first time?
Yes, yeah.
And so you discover a different Jane or a different aspect of Jane in every drum circle.
Absolutely. I think it's important always to go back to being a beginner in a sense, so that you really can perceive what's there and to receive this group of people in this time with their music.
And let life and people teach you something.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, to have big ears.
Yeah. So Jane, thank you for your time. I wish I could ask you something more in the next few days if we have time.
You're
because
welcome.
You're always so busy. No, the last question: how do leave your voice or discover your voice, right, the voice, in drum circle, which is kind of a bit more physical.
Just to clarify, is this like your singing voice or just your voices in your expression?
Oh, I think both.
Great. My dream is to do more of these where there is drumming and singing and moving at the same time. For me, I've always been a keen singer. And so in the UK, we started to bring more singing into drum circles and improvisation, and to be influenced by the circle singing movement. And I think there's a very good fit there. Yeah. And I think this is the next stage of the adventure, is to bring these together much more and integrate them.
I think about scat in jazz, or beatboxing, but even in the singing voice, just like Michael Jackson, which was magical. So, like that. Yes, I think there's a lot of space to discover and bring and build something new between voice, body, and drum. And
absolutely.
Everything. Thank you. Thank you for real.